Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another episode of A View from Tracy's Point, and today we are recapping My Kitchen Rules Season 1, Episode 3, and it was Andrew Dice Clay and Valerie's turn to cook. They were the last of the 5 teams, and the team, after all 5 teams have cooked, the team with the lowest score is supposed to go home. And so we should have known that there would be a twist and that it wasn't going to be that easy, because I just really want Brandi and Dean to go home. But we'll see how that works out. So let's go ahead and get into the show. I'm not sure if Andrew and Valerie are actually married, because he never says that she's his wife. But on the byline that goes below their name, it says that she is his wife. So I'm not sure. If you guys know for sure, let me know. And also, I just realized that her last name is Silverstein. And so I don't know why Andrew thought she was Spanish. But anyway, let's move on. So the two of them are in the kitchen, and I just really hope that they can pull it together, because Andrew seems to be a little annoying. Like Ray J was when him and Brandi were cooking. He's just in the way, not really. He wants to help, but he's not really being a help, because he's just all over the place and not really listening to what Valerie is saying. And so they plan out their appetizer and their main course, and things look good. So the appetizer is, and their main dish is. So immediately Valerie realizes that she forgot to prepare the peppers. So instead of giving each person 2, they'll only get 1, because she says that the peppers will cook quicker if there's less of them. I think that's what she said. And so the guests begin to arrive at their home, and everybody, is admiring how beautiful it is. And it really was nice, and their kitchen was really large also. And so, Valerie is freaking out. And when the judges, Curtis and Kat, arrive, then she really gets nervous. And I think the pressure of the whole moment begins to set in. So outside at the dinner table, they have prepared a really elegant menu for the guests. I think they were the only ones that actually did a menu. And as usual, Brandi Glanville has jokes and is being very sarcastic, and says that the meal that the pasta and meatballs is very... I think she said it was very elementary, but, basically saying that it was something simple, and she was expecting more. So Lance is joking about, how much he likes balls, and I'm sure he meant the meatballs that are on the menu. And Naomi says that they have spent so much time with these people that they're starting to feel like family, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. So the guests discussed the experience and whether or not it was better to have gone first or to be the last team to have to prepare a meal, because the expectations have been set. And, now that they know what the judges are looking for and how the teams are going to rate them, then there's more pressure on the last team to kind of because they're thinking about those things and trying to incorporate that into their meal and their presentation. So Brandi Glanville lets Brandi and Ray J know that she should have rated them much lower on their meal. So I guess it's going to be game on between these two. And I know I keep saying it, but I just want Brandi Glanville to go. Dean can stay. He's not that bad. But Brandi, oh my gosh, she is getting on my nerves. So Valerie thinks that they will be judged harder because they are last, so they kind of are playing into what the other teams are saying outside. So they serve their appetizers, and Brandi Glanville immediately says that the plating looks like a penis and balls, I think she said, because they had the arugula salad, and then they had the pepper laying on the salad, and then they had the 2 mushrooms on the side. So her mind is always in the gutter, and then once she points that out, then everybody else started looking at the plate, but everybody else is saying that it looked more like a clown face, or just somebody, like a face, instead of what Brandi was saying. Everyone seems to be impressed except Brandi and Dean, of course, but we're not surprised by that. And so Brandi and Ray J, they go all in about how much they love the mushrooms and the salad, and they think everything is great, which really annoys Brandi Glanville. And she's saying, oh, they're trying to manipulate the rest of the people at the table so that they'll give them a high score, because I'm sure they know that everybody wants them gone after this episode. And so Kat thought the salad was perfect and the dish overall a big hit. And Curtis liked the overall dish, but agreed the mushrooms needed something else. And a couple other people said that the mushrooms were kind of bland. And I think Curtis even said that they were too soft. So back in the kitchen, Andrew is starting to annoy Valerie even more, but he's concerned that she is, that she's bossing him around, and that when his friends, look at the show, they're going to think that she runs the house instead of him. He is so crazy. So Lance goes in search of the bathroom, but stumbles upon a closet full of Andrew's leather jackets. And his signature look is these leather jackets with the rhinestones. Well, not even really jackets, but yeah, jackets. Well, jackets and vests, but they're all blinged out with rhinestones and some kind of design on them. And so, Lance helps himself to one of the jackets, and he goes back to the table wearing it. And then, of course, everybody's like, oh my God, Andrew let you hold one of his jackets. So then Andrew comes out and sees Lance in the jacket. And so you can tell by the expression on his face that he really didn't appreciate it. But because the cameras are rolling and they're on TV, he's going to make the best of the situation. And so he starts joking and was like, okay, do you broads want a jacket? It's too cool out here. So he goes and he lets everybody get a jacket. I think everybody had it on. So it turned into a Andrew Dice Clay jacket dinner party instead of just the dinner party. So as they're all admiring the jackets and putting their jackets on and modeling, and Andrew's kind of lighting up and making jokes and everything, Curtis asked him, where's Valerie? And he's in the kitchen. So they were like, okay, well, shouldn't you be in the kitchen with her? So he had to totally abandon her, but it probably was a good thing. But unfortunately, when he got back in the kitchen, she was freaking out and panicking and asking him, please don't leave again. I need you in here helping me. So back in the kitchen, the pressure is on and the homemade pasta is sticking together, and Valerie, she just needs to breathe and relax. But, Andrew won't be quiet and let her think. And it's just like, oh my God, will you just be quiet and move to the side, so she can get these dishes plated and out to the rest of the guests. So outside, Curtis points out that it's been over an hour, since the appetizer was served. And then the teams begin to reflect over, who they think is going to be eliminated. But I'm sure the consensus is that everybody is hoping that Brandi and Dean are the ones that go. So the pasta and meatballs look really good, and let's hope it's enough to send Brandi and Dean home. Back in the kitchen after they've served the meal, Andrew and Valerie, they want to relax, but the pressure is really heating up on them. And so the teams were a mixed bag. They gave them a combined score of 21. The judges thought that the food was really good, but at times not enough seasoning. So they gave them a combined score of 28 for a grand total of 49, which actually put them in second place. So this would mean that Brandi and Dean are in last place. Just as we were all ready to celebrate the departure of Brandi and Dean, a monkey wrench was thrown into the mix. I don't think anyone is surprised that, they switched it up on us, because there had to be something to make the elimination round a little more exciting than what it was turning out to be. So the teams with the two lowest scores do a redemption round cook-off, and that meant that Brandi and Dean would go up against Naomi and Larry. And I was just like, damn. I wanted Brandi to just go home. But anyway, we'll see what happens next. So the Southern Death round will be blind voting, which means that the judges and the other teams won't know who cooked the dishes that they are about to eat. So Larry and Naomi's dish is, and Brandi and Dean's dish is. So this time around, Brandi and Dean, they're taking things a little more serious, and the concept of their dish is already better than Larry and Naomi's, sad to say. So out at the table, you know, the judges let the other teams know that they won't know who cooked which dish and that they're going to have to base the dishes solely on, you know, the taste, the flavoring, the presentation, and all of that. So because they are in one of those cooking show like kitchens where it's like multiple kitchen setups, the two teams, well, Brandi and Dean, you know, they're trying to figure out what Naomi and Larry are cooking, but Naomi and Larry, they seem to be focused on what they're doing. So Larry realizes that they cooked their chicken too early and that it's probably going to be dry by the time they get ready to serve it. And then Brandi's over on the other side and she's kicking Dean in the balls or the butt, or I don't know where she kicked him at, but she is just so annoying. So annoying, like she doesn't know when to stop playing. But, you know, they seem to be getting along well and working together. So we'll see how it turns out. So with too much time on his hands, Andrew, you know, he starts hitting on Lance's mom and saying that, you know, he could have been Lance's stepdad. And Lance said that he really doesn't mind, you know, because he thinks his mom is hot. And then Andrew lights a cigarette and everybody's sitting there like, how do you just go light a cigarette at the table and nobody else is smoking, you know? And then Valerie lets him know that they're indoors, even though it looked like they were outdoors, but they're indoors and he can't be smoking. So, you know, Andrew has no shame and he gets up and walks away, but I think he did eventually put the cigarette out. So Larry and Naomi's dish looks really sloppy, whereas Brandi and Dean's plate looks rather attractive. And so I'm getting madder and madder as the episode goes on. So the judges smell their food when they bring it out to them, and, you know, they do like this, and then the rest of the table is looking like, okay, I guess we're supposed to do it. So then we have like about a minute where everybody's like doing like this to their plate. They have no idea, you know, why they were doing that. And the judges never did say what was the point of it. So Ray J immediately says that his salmon was raw, and Valerie says that the chicken was overdone. So in the judging, the teams need to be strategic in their voting. Now everyone wants Brandi and Dean gone, but for the life of me, I could not understand why, just based on the personalities of the two teams that were cooking, that they couldn't figure out who cooked what dish. Like the chicken and rice, they should have known that that was Naomi and Larry, you know, with their southern selves. So, but for, you know, they pretended like they didn't know and that they had to vote, you know, according to who they thought cooked what dish. So, okay, there's one more twist to the game. The teams have to tell their scores out loud to the actual people that cook. Sort of how the judges did in the earlier rounds where they explained, you know, what they thought about the food and then they told what their scores were. So Brandi and Ray J had to go first. And they gave the chicken dish a 5. Lance and Diane gave it a 6. Andrew and Valerie a 4. The judges gave it 11. So Naomi and Larry's combined score was 26 out of 50. And so everyone said that the presentation was off, which I have to agree. It didn't look good at all. So then Brandi and Ray J gave the salmon dish a 7. Lance and Diane gave it a 9. Valerie and Andrew an 8. And the judges an 18. So Brandi and Dean got an overall score of 42 out of 50, which means that we had to say goodbye to Naomi and Larry. I was like quadruple day. I'm like, why? But I know why, because, you know, Brandi and Dean keep the show going, because now we're going to keep tuning in because we really want their asses off the show. So in the next round, they'll be cooking a 3-course meal, and they have to cook the meal in the same kitchen. So first up, guess who? Brandi and Ray J versus Brandi and Dean. So it is going to be on and popping next week. So until then, take care. Happy eating. Bye-bye.